Okay, let's get to this because this is the highlight of the show here. This is super interesting to me. There he is. No. I watched this whole show head to toe. Very impressed with Eric. So he created this new company called Venice AI. And so I skipped the part to this because we definitely don't need to watch an hour and 17 minutes of it. But at the same time, I think it's important that we focus on this part here. Because a lot of people have different opinions on AI. A lot of people are worried about AI. And I really liked how he just straight up said it how it is. And so you compare things to OpenAI, and I forget ChatGPT. But what they're doing here is that they're comparing, they asked both AIs to tell them a joke. And the ChatGPT said, or a rude joke. ChatGPT said, I'm not allowed to do that. OpenAI told a whole bunch of jokes, or Venice AI, sorry. But he talked about how they can program the AI to be inclusive, to be accepting of everybody. And that's what they've done with ChatGPT. And so just listen to this. And then he talks about a few things. I have a list here of things that I want to talk about in terms of this, but listen to what Eric has to say about this AI. This is so interesting to me.
So that's the one exposure I had. Danny sent me a screenshot.
So yeah, the rude joke is a good test because like ChatGPT will not answer a rude joke. How paternalistic are we as a society where like it can't even make a rude joke?
Can you go and ask it why it won't tell us a rude joke? Why won't you tell us? I can't provide rude or offensive content. It goes against my programming and OpenAI's use case policy. My purpose is to assist and provide helpful, respectful. Nah, fuck off.
Right, like this is so Orwellian.
Yes,
it's so Orwellian.
Oh, I'm done with ChatGPT now. You've lost my subscription.
This is what people have said. Like and we haven't even done much magic yet. All we've done is like remove the explicit bias and control over what is being said.
How good is your image stuff? Because Midjourney is pretty incredible.
Give it a try.
Design me a hybrid coffee shop, football club shop, primary color black, orange accent. Yeah. Oh my God, that's even better. Okay, so let me show you mine. Just like something like that.
Yeah.
But this, so that looks like a 3D model. That looks like a photo. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, so like that's instantly competitive with Midjourney.
Yeah. I will objectively say that right now, Midjourney's images are better than ours. But we get pretty close and we're super fast.
Yeah. That's faster than Midjourney. Because Midjourney.
And we're better than Midjourney was like, 6 months ago. So it depends what your standard is. But the point being like, it's competitive and it's less expensive and it's not censored and anyone can access it from anywhere in the world.
Well, I'm paying a ChatGPT monthly license, which I want to say is like $20, and I think I'm paying $72 a month for Midjourney. So that's $92 a month. What's this?
$49 a year.
All right. So what?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pay less a year than I'm paying monthly for the other two. The text I'm going to have to play with to see, because there's a lot of stuff I do. Like there's things like when I do my program notes but anyway, that's fine.
Yep.
Can it suck in? There was another thing. I got sent a graphic that was almost like a photograph of a sizing chart for a hoodie. I scanned that I sucked it into ChatGPT and it created my table.
Yeah, cool.
Can do all that?
Not yet.
Okay, so that's coming.
That requires an image to text model. We will have that soon, but it can't read images today.
But your trajectory is that direction.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do.
How big is the team now?
5.
Okay, and how rapid is this growing?
In terms of the users?
Yeah.
Well, it's been live for 3 weeks. I think we have about 7,000 or 8,000 users.
Well, so I've talked a lot about ChatGPT and Midjourney on it here. I'll just do the same with this. I'll pin the shit out of it.
Cool.
Okay.
And the important point of all this is like, we have this amazing tool of machine intelligence.
Yes.
And humans deserve to be able to interact with these things without censorship.
Mm-hmm.
because we're adults and we're
Yes.
supposed to be free people that can make free decisions about ourselves. We are not children in kindergarten that are like asking permission to use the computer system, right? We are free, sovereign adults. And if we cannot use machine intelligence without censorship, then that's bad today. It's annoying today, but it could get very bad in the future. And the entire point of Venice is to be an antidote and alternative to that.
Well, when you buy a laptop, you don't want Apple telling you as you try to use it that you can't do things.
Yeah. Imagine if you were trying to write a story and like the app would censor your story because it's like,
Hold on.
that might offend someone.
Grammarly does that.
Yeah, see?
Grammarly, some of the prompts are, if you put something in like, I don't know, what's a good manhole cover? Is that a thing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or chairman. It might say, do you want to be chairperson?
Do you want to use a gender neutral?
Yeah, chairperson. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, fuck
No,
off.
I am a chairman.
Yeah, like fuck off. This is such a weird path for society to go down. And look, if someone wants all those guardrails and they don't want to be offensive and they like want everything to be gender neutral, they can put that into the system prompt in Venice and it will talk to them as if they are a child that needs that coddling.
That's their free choice.
That's their free choice, right? Yeah. But to impose that style, that view, those opinions on everyone else opaquely through a centralized system that 100 million people are using, to me feels dangerous.
Yeah. Yes. Very. Yeah. This is very, very cool. Thanks. I really like it. What's the thing about AI you love? What's your most optimistic future with AI?
Well, it's hard to predict the long future because the stuff's changing very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Over the next few years, the best case is that this is such a powerful tool that it rapidly increases the productive capabilities of man. And you've seen this in your own work, right? You've made a better brochure at far less cost that pleases people and grows your brand and helps you build your thing.
Get on my Bedford Future Fund. This is wild, right?
Where's that?
Just bedfordfuturefund.com. So I want to fund kids where I live, right? Who just haven't got any money to do certain things. So with a combination of Squarespace, ChatGPT, and Canva, I built this entire website in 3 hours.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And it looks good. I didn't have to code anything. If you go through a couple of the pages, I'm not a designer. I couldn't design this. And it all works. It's all, all works in your mobile browser. Like in 3 hours. So I've come from, I literally did it on a plane. And I've launched it. It's out there. And like with the cafe, we found the location. We met with the designer on the Thursday, but we turned up with designs. And so she can get straight into executing the designs.
Yeah.
The speed at which I can roll out a business is rapidly increased by having access to these tools.
Yes.
Just need to get the government out of the fucking way.
And
now.
People should recognize that this is simply an extension of tools throughout humans' history, right? So when people could use tractors to plow their fields, they would have had a similar feeling. Like,
yes.
Like, what do you mean? This machine will plow the whole field? I don't have to do it by hand. That's going to save me so much time, right?
I can plow 5 fields now.
Exactly. Or when the locomotive came out and people could like travel hundreds of miles quickly and safely, like humans advance and become materially prosperous on the back of technological development that saves time and allows them to be more productive. And AI is an incredibly powerful, potent new suite of tools that we're just starting to uncover. It will definitely like displace parts of society and change it. That people will definitely lose some jobs because it's not needed anymore. But that's actually progress, right? And if you can build a house with 10 people instead of 100 people, that's progress, not decline.
And what is how well founded are the AI doomers? The realistic concerns we should have outside of the censorship, which you fixed, government control. What is the bits? Like, I'm worried about AI in weapon systems.
Yeah.
Obviously, the IDF have been using AI to try and predict who has a Hamas fighter as part of their genocide, and it's fucking gross. That's an easy one, but the fear of AGI starting to release itself into computer systems and do some crazy shit.
Yeah, I think people need to recognize there's different types of danger here.
Yeah.
And again, I am not an expert on AI systems at all, so I want to come at this with some humility there. What I feel like I've learned in my own AI journey over the last year is that whether or not AGI can happen is a very cool and fascinating concept, and whether it will be dangerous or beneficial is a very interesting discussion. LLMs, like this technology that creates this texts and images, is not AGI and is nowhere close to it. And when you start when you start building with it and seeing how it works, you remove some of the magic and you realize like it's just a language calculator, and it's an amazing one, and it can do all sorts of interesting things, but it is not a conscious being, and increasing the size of the model is not going to suddenly make it self-aware. So I think the problem right now is that people see the advancements in these systems and they assume that there's some natural like slope up to AGI. I will just say that LLMs are not going to create AGI.
So this is just a much better Google.
Yeah, it is a much better Google. I use Venice to search information now. Like if I want to learn about the War of 1812, pre-AI I would have gone on Google to learn that, and it's a reasonably good tool. When ChatGPT came out, I would have used ChatGPT. Now I'll use Venice because it's just as fast and thorough as ChatGPT, but it's not going to have bias, which might otherwise be there.
The other thing I like about, I was talking to Natalie Smolenski about this, is like, I like the AI education that can take you on a journey. And so I want to learn about the War of 1812. I don't know what happened there. Well, it might give you the intro and then talk about a particular general. Actually, I want to know about him.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. And so you choose your learning path.
Yeah, even more than Wikipedia, right? Everyone's gone down the Wikipedia rabbit hole where you're there and you click on something, right? Like interacting with AI now is a much more elaborate and rich way to do that.
They've banned it from use kind of in my daughter's school, and I've told her just ignore the music.
Good.
Yeah, just like literally ignore
Imagine banning a tool of learning from school.
It's like, well, like Natalie says, like banning a calculator. I'm like, your job is to learn, and part of that is learn to use these tools. I get it. I don't want her to cheat on a math test because I wanted to learn the logic of math.
Yeah, fair.
But if you want to use it as a research tool, or you want to help it write a paper, get it to help you write the paper. But just like be honest with me and make sure you're on the inputs.
Yeah. Yeah, she will be so much better served through that than someone who's blocked from a tool, which will become, ubiquitous everywhere. To block children from tools of intense learning, like amazing innovations in the ability to learn and gather and distribute information, to block that from children, I mean, come on.
So where do you see the convergence of AI and Bitcoin? In that, for AI systems to talk to each other, they are global systems, and there will need to be trade at times, and so something like the Lightning Network feels like a natural.
This is an important part here, and I see that I see the comment up here from Cold Deck: AI can't use fiat money; it'll need a native digital asset. Enter Bitcoin.
Tool to kind of accompany this. Is that something you're thinking about?
I think not enough people outside of the crypto world recognize that AI systems cannot use fiat money.
Yeah.
And AI cannot open a bank account. It doesn't have an ID. Like it cannot access things permissionlessly through a natively digital interface. Only cryptocurrencies are compatible with digital intelligence. And this is
because they don't know geography and KYC.
They don't know geography and KYC. They're natively digital systems. They work in the same world. And an AI agent can interact with a crypto wallet, send transactions with no permission. It just follows programmable rules. You cannot program an AI to interact with Charles Schwab.
I'm getting all excited.
Right? Like,
this is so cool.
Yeah, and this is going to be a massive advantage for Bitcoin,
yes,
right? And for the whole industry, because there's sort of a ceiling that fiat currency and banking systems will hit. Past that ceiling, they can't go, right? It's like leaving the earth and going out into the stars. Like the crypto is up in the stars and fiat is stuck on earth. AI systems can use the former and they can't use the latter.
Have you looked at Fedi at all?
No, what's that?
Oh, I don't know. We talk about this on the show in terms of AI and Bitcoin and how much leverage we're going to have in the future. But it's so interesting to hear somebody like that who's actually building in AI, built that Venice.ai. Check it out today. I was playing around with it yesterday. It's the easiest one to use yet. I went to Venice.ai. I did not need to sign in at all. It just has a little blank bar there. What do you want to do? Generate an image, text, ask a question, whatever it is. It's very simple to use. So if you have some time today, check that out. But a couple things there before we wrap up the show here today. We're already over an hour, but that's okay. A couple things there to note is that the price. So one of the main things about Jeff Booth that he talks about all the time is the price of things, and how as technology improves, the prices of everything should be going down, right? So you think about kind of where we are right now. Peter was talking about Midjourney. He pays like $50 a month for that. He pays $20 a month for ChatGPT. And so this is all really new technology here. And I think that they're really gouging people there. And it's not going to last very long. I think that their time of like being the first there, being able to gouge people, even if you think about $50 a month to generate images for your business or for whatever you're doing, compare that to hiring somebody, a graphic designer on your team, and having to pay them $2,500, $3,000 a month. So we went from that to $50 a month to Eric's Venice.ai for $50 a year. And that's going to continue happening because this thing is not slowing down. It's not going backwards. We're just going to keep going one direction, which is forward. And probably in a year from now, it's going to cost you $5 a month or $5 a year to use that, because there's going to be so much competition. There's going to be so much ability for these things. And it might even be free. Or it'll be 200 sats per year, whatever that is, right? We're just going to keep going down that road where all of this continues to improve, continues to get cheaper. And if you're pricing your whole world in Bitcoin, you're going to be part of that. If you're still living in fiat, we're kind of in a weird transition right now where, yes, things are getting easier. Technology is improving. Things should be getting cheaper, but we're still living in a world where that's controlled. They have the ability to manipulate it. They can print as much as they want of it. That's the only reason the prices are going up. And if you're living in Bitcoin, if you're holding Bitcoin and valuing everything in Bitcoin, prices will continue to go down. So we're in that weird spot right now where the majority of people, like 99% of the world, is living in that world where all the prices are going up of everything. They're working harder and harder, even though they're able to be more productive now with all this technology. They're having to work harder still, longer hours, less time with their family, less time with their friends. But if you're in Bitcoin, everything's going to keep going the opposite direction. And slowly, I think people are starting to recognize that. But the other part of that too is that he built this. I think he said it's like a couple months old now. They have 5 people working on this. 5. And so if you want to take a look into the future of what companies are going to look like think about how much that would have been 10 years ago in order to create something where you could ask it a question and it could give you a very detailed answer in a matter of seconds. It's not just going to pull a bunch of websites for you to look at. It's going to give you an answer to anything that you have in seconds. And any image you want. Actually, I was using the image thing on there yesterday too. It works very, very well. You want something to generate an image for you? It happens in 5 seconds. Do you know who built that company? 5 employees. How many employees have worked in Google for the last 20 years? And he said that this is replacing Google now. Just think about that. Like I said, with these shows, with these interviews, I know the people who have been here for a very long time, they're really just like immersed in this world, and they don't really understand. They're very detached from where we are, where the average person is. But that is absolutely incredible. The fact that you could build something like this, and just the way he was talking in terms of like image to text, how everything's easy, how everything's going to be available soon. Like this whole thing is moving so fast. The other part too is the Bitcoin thing. So let's just quickly think about this. Like, think about how many jobs are going to be replaced in the next 5 years by AI. And if you actually want to be setting yourself up for that, you think about this. If I'm going to be able to use AI in my personal life, for my business, if I want to leverage AI in the future, and the only thing that they're going to accept is Bitcoin, it's a pretty good idea to be buying some Bitcoin right now. Because you think about this technology is going to be spread out across the world. Everybody's going to have the internet. Everybody's going to probably have free internet with the satellites, the way they do it now. Everybody's going to have access to this. And the AI, whatever you want it to do, is going to accept one thing, which is Bitcoin. So if you're here now and you recognize this and you can kind of see into the future and what this whole world is going to look like, you're crazy not to be converting every asset, everything that you have into Bitcoin. Because we're not going backwards now. We're not going backwards. And this thing's going to just keep getting faster and faster. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. So the question is, what do we do here? I just saw that Craig's at 420 sats. Greetings from Prague. Craig and Kieran. Are they together? Are they hanging out? That's interesting. Craig's in Prague. Damn. I'm so jealous of Prague, people who are in Prague right now. So that's, I was going to show you kind of what it looks like, the site, but I think if you have some time today, just check it out. Venice.ai. Try it out. You don't have to put in your information. You don't have to put in a payment, anything. You can pay for a premium. I haven't done that yet, but I probably will. $50 a year seems very reasonable to me if it's improving my life. I couldn't justify paying $50 a month for Midjourney though, that's for sure. But with Venice AI, so what do we do now? We understand the fact that the world's changing. A lot of jobs are going to be replaced by AI in the coming decade. So what do we do? And I'm sure there's people watching this show right now or later who are going to have their jobs replaced by AI. It's sad, but it's the truth. So in that world where the AI is doing the majority of work, the productivity, and if you factor in, so then you ask yourself, okay, if nobody's working and AI is just doing all this for us, it's going to be a long way to get there, I think. But at the same time, if nobody's working, how do you pay income taxes? How does the government continue? Well, the good news is that the government's definitely going to shrink, for one, which is a very good sign, very good thing for the world, government shrinking. But at the same time, we also talk about the human resources versus natural resources. So if nobody's working and nobody can pay income taxes, how is the government going to continue functioning? So what they're going to do, and this is what Trump is talking about with all this energy stuff, is they're going to stop relying on human resources to fund their government. They're going to switch to natural resources. So why do you think Trump is meeting with Riot and CleanSpark, the mining companies in the US? Why do you think he said that he wants all of the Bitcoin to be made in the USA? Because not only is that going to be the only way they crawl out of this huge debt pile that they're in, but that's how they're going to fund the government. Is they're going to use wind, solar, hydro, oil, anything, methane gas. That's what they're going to be converting their natural resources into Bitcoin to fund the government. So you have everybody using Bitcoin for their AI. You have governments mining Bitcoin to pay for their operations. Think about where we are right now in terms of a very niche, small amount of people using Bitcoin and what that world looks like, where everybody's using Bitcoin. All the governments are doing everything that they can to mine more Bitcoin. Think about how scarce and valuable it's going to be in that world. It's incredible. So what do we do? First thing, I mean, if you're in Bitcoin now, you're going to be pretty good. So the last one yesterday was sit back and relax. That's what I suggest now, is like you have your Bitcoin, you make sure you protect it, make sure that you have a plan in place. If you got hit by a bus tomorrow, that your family's going to get all that from you. Otherwise, it's going to be a complete waste of your life, pretty much. So sit back and relax, make sure you got everything in place, but also start learning about it. Take 30 minutes a day That's one of the things we talk about here on the show is take 30 minutes a day over the course of a couple of years or 5 years. Think about how far you are ahead of everybody else just by spending 15, 20, 30 minutes a day doing some info, some research into AI. Start using it, start testing out different prompts, start writing down which prompts work, and get into a habit of like utilizing this technology because it is going to change the world. It already has. And if you're somebody who's ahead of this curve and you can figure out ways to implement this into your personal life and into your business, you're going to be so much further ahead. If you want to be in the 5% of people, this is the stuff that you need to be doing. Next one, get more Bitcoin. Seems like a no-brainer, but you shouldn't be. What's even the point of holding fiat anymore? What's the point of other than to pay your mortgage and pay your bills? Why would you ever be holding a penny of fiat? Not only is it a complete illusion, but it's going to be totally unnecessary for the future that we're moving into. So focus all of your energy, all of your efforts into earning more Bitcoin and converting whatever fiat you have into Bitcoin and getting the most leverage that you can possibly get from this amazing opportunity that we're heading into. The next one here is get creative. Get creative. So we're moving out of this world where, I mean, there's still going to be trades. We're going to have plumbers. We're going to have electricians. We're going to have carpenters. Like those are very important skills to have. And I mean, you should be learning those if possible. But at the same time, we're moving out of this labor intensive world into a more attention focused, creative world. So this is something that you should be doing every single day. Is just like dedicate 30 minutes of your day, do some reading on AI, watch some videos, check out different resources, and make sure that you're working your creative muscle here. So how do you do that? You just take a piece of paper, get one of these notepads, every morning write down 10 different ideas, 10 things I could use AI for, 10 places I'd like to travel, 10 businesses I could start, but just start every single day writing down 10 ideas because you really want to get your creative muscle. You want to build that up because that's going to be your most important asset, I think, in this new world is your creativity, how to utilize AI, how to communicate with people, how to generate different ideas for yourself, your business, and your life. And the only way you're going to do that is over time and with work. So start building those creative muscles. That's the only way. I like to compare it to going to the gym. If you take a year off of the gym and you go back and start working out, you're going to be pretty sore. You're going to be pretty weak. You're going to be pretty sore for a while. But if you build that up over time and you put in the work for a couple of years, that's how you build muscles. And it's the exact same thing with your brain, your creativity. So with that, the last one here I had was, I just added at the end of this, but think about the impact of AI and Bitcoin. You have Apple, you have Microsoft, you have a bunch of these applications on your phone. A couple things to keep in mind here is that with all this happening and with this AI, we really have no idea where it's going to go. So the thing that you can do is just like only keep a small amount of Bitcoin on your hot wallets, like your phone, your laptop, an amount that you'd feel comfortable losing pretty much. But outside of that, everything should be pulled off of there and put into cold storage. Because if you have a device like the cold card, that never touches the internet. So that's one part is the Microsoft, the Apple, all this bullshit they're putting in these operating systems now, you kind of bypass that. But the other part too is if you think about the Bitcoin, the private keys, the 2048 words, there could come a day where the AIs can just start spitting this stuff out very quickly and start, I don't think it's going to happen in the near term, but the one thing that you should be doing to kind of combat that is setting up a passphrase and learning how to do that. Don't panic. Don't be in a huge rush to do this, but get the cold card, learn how to do that first, and then add a passphrase. Because you have 2048 words, it's almost impossible for anything to hack that now. But then you add a 25th word on there or 13th word in your brain that the AI would have to go through the entire dictionary, the entire small cap, large caps. It makes it so much more difficult for the AI to have any ability to access your Bitcoin. So consider getting a passphrase to kind of combat that. But that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And we went way over time once again, but whatever.